Thanks for joining us here this morning on 20 Sides to Every Story. We're back with, I believe this is session 20 of our Dolmenwood campaign. We are doing this using the old school Essentials game system, and we're going to be picking up right where we left off last time on the first of Lillibeth. We're on a little bit of a condensed schedule here today, so it's going to be a shorter session than typically we run. But with that, I think we're just going to skip player introductions and things like that to make sure that we've got plenty of time for the game. So a little recap on where we are at. Basically, the last time we played, we saw our characters go up against a foe that they had been hunting on a sort of a mission for the village of Lankshorn. They were out hunting a corrupted unicorn that was terrorizing the rural folk, and that encounter did not go so well for them. They discovered some of the capabilities of the unicorn, including the fact that it can fly and that it can cast or conjure some sort of a darkness effect around it, which makes it nearly impossible for the humans among us to hit it. It was really only Silver, using their infravision, that was even able to see or land a blow against it. And so we saw two near fatalities for Silver and Lillibeth. The other characters, Friar, Sir Geoffrey, and Thomas, managed to take refuge at the farmer Marrow's abode, and they waited it out. And the creature was sort of stalking around the cottage for a bit, maybe intentionally trying to get their ire raised, but they stayed concealed, and they waited it out, and it eventually left. They ran out into the fields to tend to their downed companions and managed to bring them back into Farmer Marrow's home, and they rested for the night, kind of licked their wounds, and decided this is something that we can't deal with on our own. We're going to need more force behind us, and maybe even some more magical capability if we're going to defeat this thing. They went back to Burkmaster Clwyd Baldric and kind of made the case that, they're going to need maybe some more mercenaries. They were trying to find out, is there a wizard or a cleric, someone that might be able to bring some more magical oomph to the fight. I think it was Silver that managed to convince the Burkmaster that perhaps this creature was its intention maybe was even to cause harm to the Burkmaster, either in reputation or in livelihood. You already knew that the Burkmaster was hiding something in his attic. This was something that we had learned some sessions ago from Madame Shantywood's agent Sirtel, and you caught some signs. There were some sideway glances up to the ceiling as if he was worried about whatever it is that is in the attic, and he kept the group overnight as sort of personal security, and during that time seemed to open up to them a bit, and has decided that they are a group maybe that he can trust. And this was all kind of tied to trying to deal with that unicorn. And so he shared with you that there is a wizard out in the woods to the north that he sends monthly deliveries to. Foodstuffs, lamp oil, fresh water, all sorts of just kind of mundane supplies. It would seem that it is important to the Burkmaster that it not be known that he is sending these supplies, or that they're associated with him. But he enlisted the group to be the ones to use their cart to head up that way with this delivery. The group took the road to the north, left Lankshorn, passed by perhaps the shadow of Redwraith Manor, where Lord Malbleet, his residence, is. You're not carrying any contraband or anything like that, but there's maybe a low amount of risk that you might be harassed by some of the Breggle that are loyal to him. There was no complication. You managed to make your way north, following the directions laid out by the Burkmaster. And currently, I believe Thomas and Sir Geoffrey are hanging out by the cart, maybe just off the road, and the rest of the group had cut east from the road to try to find the cottage, to make sure that you knew where you were going with the cart before you're starting to haul it through the woods. And the group that consists basically of Lillibeth, the Friar, and Silver did indeed find the cottage. There's a small wooded dell where a one-story thatched cottage stands beside a cheery stream. There's a little herb garden off to the side. More or less, this would be a delightful, cozy-looking little scene here out in the woods if it weren't for the fact that there are dozens upon dozens of strangled, crushed corpses of small animals that litter the field or the yard in front of the house. The group very trepidatiously, I guess, kind of navigated around to the back side of the cottage where they found that there maybe were less of these things dead, and they went up to one of the windows to give a listen. All the windows are shuttered and closed, but you went up closer to the house, gave a listen, and you heard this very strained, maybe pained sounding like moan come from within the house. I think that's where we ended, basically. And maybe we'll just jump right into something that's about to happen to you all. Is that you hear from the south, we'll say like southeast from the woods, you hear a shriek.
A human shriek or a creature shriek?
Sounds like a female, could be human.
And right now, remind me, so I know you just said it, but the three of us are at the back of the cottage, right?
Yeah.
And it's Thomas and that are back at the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there may be some, we'll say 30 minutes away.
Okay, cool. And the shriek's behind us at the cottage?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we should probably investigate that, right?
Yes, I would agree. We can always come back to the house, and I don't see how we can help whatever's in there yet.
Yes. Help that, sure. We can definitely help the human person screaming.
But we don't know
That
that it's
sounds-
a monster in the house.
Right. Well, it could be a trick, I guess, but
Let's go.
Okay, so
Geoffrey would probably want to head towards the screaming.
well, you wouldn't hear it. Because you and Thomas are actually with the cart some distance, so like 30 minutes or so hike through the woods. So the sound of the shriek isn't going to carry that far. But
I thought, for some reason, I thought the cart was maybe a little closer to that.
yeah, no, they were trying to find they were trying to find the cottage to make sure that you knew where you're going with the cart before trying to. It's very difficult to maneuver the cart through the woods. There's no road here.
yeah.
But anyways, the three of you turn around and you walk the, maybe 150 feet, 200 feet to the tree line where you hear the shriek. And then you see a young woman running like towards you, like away from the woods and like coming in your direction. You're face to face and you catch sight of her. We'll show you a little image of someone that looks very familiar to you. 16-year-old girl, freckles, chestnut brown eyes, kind of cropped black hair. She's wearing a red cloak, and she has a basket that seems like has some mushrooms and some maybe apples or things that she has foraged along the way. But she kind of drops that as she starts running. You can see her like she pulls out a dagger and like she kind of like turns around. And she's like holding the dagger towards the woods, and she's got her back towards you. And she's just like, I heard something. There's something moving around in there.
Is this the Drune's daughter?
Yes, this is Polith.
Well, there are lots of animals in the woods.
I don't think it's an
Bird.
animal.
Got my bow out already.
Yeah. Well, why don't we regroup with our compatriots if there's something dangerous? I think I'd like to have at least Thomas and Geoffrey here with us.
Okay.
Yes.
So you all start to like move basically to the opposite side of the house, make your way back to the kind of the western side of the clearing where that would take you back the way that you came. And as you move over in that direction, you're going to see, I assume somebody is maybe checking over their shoulder, and you'll see a skeleton emerge from the same place where Polith like came out from the southeast of the clearing. There's a skeleton that's carrying like a big like burlap sack on its back, and it moves and it's walking towards like the front of the house. As you guys are leaving, it maybe like turns and looks at you all, but then just it's like a second, like it seems to like kind of observe that you guys are running away, but then it goes to the door, opens the door, and enters into the cottage, shuts the door behind it.
Got it. So implication being it was not trying to take that burlap sack and drop it over Paul's head and capture her, but more it's bringing some goods to
It
the
looks
house.
like there's something in the bag. You're not sure what, but it looks like it's pretty full, whatever it is. It's kind of bulging.
Okay. So it's foraging as well.
Could as we move, could I ask her what she's doing in this area of the woods? I would ask, are we close to her house? Like, what is she doing around this area of the woods?
What is the pace of you all leaving? Like, are you running away or are you?
I would say I would say maybe not a run, but a hurried walk, because we don't want to trip and fall or something.
Just trying to I was trying to gauge like what is the tempo as you guys are moving and you're asking her. She would probably say, I was. Oh, you owe me.
We owe you. I owe you.
Well,
all of us owe you.
She's gonna point to you, Lillibeth. You said you'd help me find a witch.
Oh no. Oh, and where are we near a witch?
Maybe a witch lives there. That kind of looks like a witch's house, don't you think?
You've been walking through the woods looking for the witches?
I've been following you. I figured eventually you guys seem like the kind that run into a witch at some point.
Well, I'm really glad to see that you were able to get away from your mother's house, although I'm pretty sure she's not going to be excited about this.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, then I'm glad you found us before the skeleton decided to put you in the bag. Come on. Let's get back to the others. And yes, we'll help you find a witch. I did promise. I will help you find the witch.
Right on. So 30 minutes later, I'm going to fast forward the little timer here. So it'll be about 6:40 or so once you make contact and get back to the gang. And so Thomas and Sir Geoffrey, you see the rest of the group emerge from the woods. And you also see that Pauleth is with them.
Long way from home, young lady.
Well, same goes for you.
Touché.
Wasn't expecting you to find friends out there, but have we found a good route?
We are able to get there. In fact, well, we found the place, but something's not right. I mean, there's a skeleton. I would say the skeleton, seeing a skeleton bringing things back in to the house, right? But I don't necessarily know anymore about skeletons. I don't know. But
well, there's a lot of dead creatures too, and
right.
We heard some moaning sounds. Not the good kind.
Bye.
Definitely not the good kind. We also probably need to think about how many times we've seen skeletons just doing normal, everyday things, especially around wizards. So for all we know, the skeleton is helpful.
I was actually just thinking that I think every skeleton we've seen has been good.
I mean, on that note, being that most of the time we see animated skeletons, there is a wizard of some sort involved. Are we perhaps thinking there's a wizard involved here?
Hopefully. That's why we...
That's why Joffrey's bringing mind.
Do you know for sure that it's a wizard, though? You're saying that there's no chance that it's a witch in there?
It could be both for all we know. We know for sure that we came here because someone in the house is adept at magic.
Yes, there's supposedly a wizard and his wife.
How long have you been following us?
Since you left my house?
So did you see what... Have you seen that before? That creature that we fought? Did you...
Yes.
And you've seen it before?
Yeah, I've seen it not very far from where we met. It comes and goes from one of those mounds. At night, I've seen these really strange goat folk guards kind of patrolling around it. The doorway on it only shows up. It's not there all the time. It's not like the burial mounds. It's almost like it's there sometimes and then sometimes it's not.
So like a portal to the
Yeah.
fairy realm.
Maybe. And she kind of she digs out kind of like a book and she kind of shows you, so she starts paging through. She's like, I've been trying to track whether it's related to like moon cycles or if it's weather dependent. You know, she's got like different little graphs where she's been like logging different things. And she says, I haven't been able to figure out exactly when it appears.
Still very impressive. A lot of information. The witches will be impressed.
You think?
I mean, I don't know. Didn't we fight something? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about all these witch things. I'm just saying I don't know. But I've never met one. But I don't know what I hear. You know, me.
Well, let's just say that we heard lots of bad things about Marjoram Greiber because, female wizard running away. Women don't always have the best of reputations when they get in the way of powerful creatures that happen to be male.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
It's that though. I don't think that's what's going on with the witches though. I think it might be something just nefarious in general. I don't think it's that whole thing. They could be male. It wouldn't make a difference.
They're
Is what
not
I'm
male.
saying.
They're not male. That's why I want to meet one.
To her point, yes, they're not male, and we don't know. So the only wizards we've met that have been female have been both good and bad, just like normal people. So I'd like to reserve judgment.
Now, as a side note, didn't we find, and this is not telling the girl this, didn't we find some kind of like witch's hex book or something?
Mm-hmm.
Something super evil. Yeah, we have it like wrapped up in cloth, like hidden.
Yeah, we've like hidden it away from ourselves to pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like Thomas says it, yeah.
Yeah, it's hidden away right here.
Paul's eyes.
Yeah, I probably would not want to show
So
it.
we are aware of the existence of certain witches and the fact that those witches are extremely evil.
So we assume.
So I will just step in and say, like, the term witches in this context is like very specific. Like, it's not just female sorcerer.
Right.
Okay.
Like hag,
So
droon.
I think I see what you're saying. Yeah. So like a hag does not equate witch, but it's like a
Gotcha.
type. It's a category of like how they derive their magic would be very unique to them. And I don't know if you've gotten you know what you know. I don't know if that's been shared yet.
Sure.
So you the three of you did not knock on the door?
No. We came
So
back.
the thing with the door, Thomas, is that in front of the door were dozens of dead creatures. So
Yes.
Like
we kind of
creatures
assumed that
like-
if you
I mean, what do you mean by
like
creatures?
rodents, it looked like just speculation. It looked as if little wildlife creatures were wandering around and they stepped into the courtyard and then were instantly killed by some mystical force.
Yes.
That was sort of my take.
Yes, there
Like a
was.
field of anti-life or something.
We did see a window open though, and we thought maybe it was a cat or something that would come out and leave that there. I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't know what's going on in there.
Did you guys step into the courtyard at all, or just observe to
No.
see life, possible anti-life force?
We did not decide to
scared.
test that.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
why we're coming to get you, brother.
yes, I know this game.
I'm just kidding, but yes, that's why we're coming.
Yes, you're kidding, not kidding. I know.
So you didn't hail the residents or anything? Holler out?
We tried to call, but all we got was a moan.
And not the good kind.
Not the good kind.
Olive is scratching her head. What are you guys talking about? My dad doesn't tell me anything.
Tell you later, because you definitely shouldn't be ignorant of that. So let's.
Yes.
Let's not corrupt everything, but make our way to the
What
house.
are we talking? I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that
you're
that's
perfect,
been
Josh.
well.
That's included.
Good moans.
Okay, let's go.
I'll mark 10 minutes for your conversation, and then it'll
Uh-huh.
be another 30 minutes to get there, so it'll put you about 7:20. Still daylight.
It's a concerning tracking.
We gotta have meaningful time records at this point.
No, it's good. I just it makes my hair in the back of my neck stand up. Let's hurry.
So, and you're pulling the cart towards the house.
Well, we had determined that that's basically impossible, right?
Possible. It's just
Difficult.
yeah, like you wouldn't
rather
want
hack
to
through the
be
brush.
navigating through the woods, like searching, days upon days with a cart. You would, I think part of what you guys were doing was also maybe clearing and kind of hacking away at any underbrush and
Yeah.
whatnot. You couldn't do it indefinitely, but for the 30-minute trek to get the cart out to the woods or to the cottage, definitely possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair to me. I've got some hatchets, so I'll help like extra, like just walking in front, clearing anything.
So it's like really pretty dense wood,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, it's pretty dense wood, but the cottage itself is really not that far from the road. It's just maybe sheltered a bit from people wandering over this way just because of the undergrowth. So, but you managed to make the path happen, and you're slowly pulling the cart along, and you get yourselves back to that clearing. There's a stillness again to the glade. No real activity that you are seeing or hearing from the house, but it is the first time that Thomas and Sir Geoffrey, you lay eyes on this. Now you're seeing it, this scene of these squirrels, these rabbits, these maybe once in a while like a raccoon or a little mole or something. Just and they're just butchered. Just looks like necks kind of twisted and their bodies kind of distorted. Some of them just like crushed, like their bones have been crushed and they just kind of gore piles.
But they have flesh on them. It doesn't. Do we see any like signs that the bodies have been like eaten?
You go and you check out a couple of them and inspect them, and they do not.
It just looks like they've been mutilated.
Yeah.
This is not the act of a creature eating or anything like that. This is just the act of mutilation.
Yeah,
And
no
nothing-
no cat that you know would leave a body like this.
Yeah.
They'd pick
No
apart
animal.
and probably
That's
peel away
and
at
that's
some of the
saying
flesh.
something.
Yeah.
Lillibeth,
Yes,
Wh-
I mean, you're
wh-
alive, so maybe not a field of undeath.
I am alive. Yeah, and I did walk in there to observe the animals, so maybe no vortex of anti-life here.
Lillibeth,
Yeah.
how do these all seem as though they died at the same time? Or, I mean, what would you judge being a huntress and such? Does it seem like this all happened at once, or is, some of these happened earlier and later?
Maybe I should, I don't know, maybe I should roll to see.
Yeah, no roll necessary. You just would, go around and look at some of them, and they are definitely in different states of decay. Some of them totally rotten with maggots growing in them. Some of them, probably your best guess is that none of them are older than 2 weeks.
So, no, and this has only been going on for about 2 weeks, which is an odd coincidence, I think.
Okay. So it doesn't appear as though it was a singular magical mishap or something that.
It doesn't look magical at all. It just looks violent.
Window is open.
I guess, yeah, maybe I did describe that there was one window at the back of the house that was open. The rest are shuttered closed.
Geoffrey's going to peer in without putting any appendages into the window.
Okay.
Give it a smell, brother. Give it a smell.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
So you navigate to the back of the house and look in through the one unshuttered window, and basically you're looking into what seems to be some kind of a living room kind of area. There's some cozy chairs near a hearth, and then there's an oak table that you see that's laden with moldy bread, moldy cheese, and it looks like some jars of like preserves, like maybe some kind of like an apricot jam that's got kind of fruit flies kind of swimming around both above it and in it, and maybe like a couple of other jams and jellies. There is also on the table, you can see there's 5 leather pouches that are kind of tied up, and they're just kind of stacked neatly on one end of the table. And then there's like 2 doors. Well, there'd be 3 doors. There'd be the entryway door. This seems to be the room that the entryway door leads into. And then kind of on opposite sides of the room, 2 doors that lead to what could only be the only other 2 rooms in the cottage. It's pretty small. So
I guess I will then kind of knock on the side of the window and say, "Toodles, hello, anybody home?"
you just hear the same kind of like strained moaning coming from within.
Do you see anything like moving in the house?
He didn't say anything about moving. I did, I see some pouches on a table. I see a couch. It's relatively civilized, except for the fact that it looks like maybe somebody was in the middle of eating and got stopped. Which is why at this moment, Geoffrey is sort of starting to get concerned, and his thoughts are sort of like wondering if whoever lives here was attacked and is like hurt and is like moaning, he's a little concerned somebody needs some help. And I think that at this point, he's just going to climb into the window and say, "Guys, I'm headed in."
So Geoffrey kind of climbs, you get your leg over the sill, and you climb into the house.
And I will shout to the group, or I don't know exactly where they are, but I'll let them know that, I'm being reckless as usual.
I would say as far as like the smell inside here, like just maybe like a little bit of like a rotten fruit kind of smell.
When I move in, does anything immediately happen, or is it just kind of I'm in the room now?
Nothing really happens. You just hear maybe more of that strained sound coming from, we'll say, the northern door. So
Okay.
just for the theater of mind, we will say that the western door is the entranceway. The northern door leads to a room. There's a southern door that leads to a room. On the western side of the living room is the window that you just crawled into. We'll just kind of mark it that way.
Do you see a large burlap sack, Sir Geoffrey?
You do not.
That would be what the skeleton was carrying, right?
I would
I see 5 little pouches on the table, I think. Is what I see, other than just furniture.
the Friar would move up to the window, not climb in, but try to push the window up further, just so that we have, or the window itself up further, just so that there's a little bit more room, and he'd kind of peer in and go, is there, as he looks in, is there a door like accessible that Geoffrey could just open?
There are 3 doors. There's the
door.
entranceway, there's the northern door, and there's the southern door.
Brother, why don't you open that door there just in case something happens? Right?
I
Okay,
think at
Jeff,
this point, I'm going to climb in there with him.
All right, Silver is
well-
now in the living room.
I will move about 10 feet away from the window and just draw my weapons and be scanning the forest behind us or whatever, keeping eyes on.
Keep doing the
Our
same
backside.
thing and guarding Paul.
so the door to the outside is basically across the room from me, on the opposite side of the room from where I came in
Probably.
the window.
Yeah, we'll say it's like the only thing in between you and the door is the table.
Table. I'm going to move towards the door to open it, but I think what I want to do is I want to take a look in those pouches first.
Sure.
Or you know what I mean? So I think I'm going to move towards the table. I'm going to look in the pouches, and then I'll make my decision from there.
Cool.
What's going to happen next?
I'm gonna advance 10 minutes. Just the whole getting into the house. There's still a little bit of wariness to get in there, the listening and all that. So you move over, Sir Geoffrey, and you just kind of like loosen. There's like little string that like kind of closes up the pouch, and you like loosen that, and you open up the one bag, and it looks like there's 100 or so coins, gold coins in that pouch.
I'm going to grab all the pouches and flip them to my brother out the window. I'm going to go open the door.
5 pouches each with 100 gold.
That's not why we're here. What are you doing, idiot?
He's robbing the wizard.
I guess I am.
Prepayment for rescue.
No, this is not
That was
How
our
are-
payment, wasn't it? 500 gold?
not from these people.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, there's something weird going on here. So I'm just kind of like saying, okay, there's gold. Let's get this out of the middle of the room. Like, we can figure it out later. But there's something weird going on. So
All right.
you can decide what to do with the pouches.
Yeah,
But
he hasn't. He's just set him down on the ground.
Yeah.
He's like,
and then I'll move to the door and open it.
Okay, so just the meta point here is that the 5 pouches are on the ground currently. So at the point that somebody wants to pick them up and add them to their inventory sheet, just make sure you communicate that to me, and I will add it to your sheet. But for now, they are sitting outside the house, on the back side of the house. So Sir Geoffrey moves to the door, and it opens with a creak. It was never locked, so it just opens, and you're looking out into the front yard now.
Yeah,
Can
I'll
I-
just leave that door open.
could I call out? I'm gonna call out their names again. I'm gonna call out for Annabelle and Merridwyn
Okay?
while we're in the house, or at
And-
least while I'm outside and looking in the window.
So you're outside, Silver's inside the house. And as he calls out Silver, you'll hear from the northern door, you hear, Cluid! Cluid!
Wasn't Cluid the dog of the priest that we met?
But also you've met many Cluids probably at this point. Cluid is
Oh,
like
right.
the John of Dolmenwood.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Cluid, Saint Cluid is a saint, and so a lot of people have the first name Cluid.
Got it. Okay.
I think Cluid was the name of the Burkmeister too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think at that point, that's when Geoffrey's going to go over and open the north door. Sword pulled, ready for anything, but He's kind of thinking, oh man, this guy's hurt. He's back there.
All right. So you open the door. Give me a moment to get through the description of what you see.
Oh man.
So this is a bedroom. There is a bed where a female corpse, like very pale skin, very clearly deceased. Although not in a state of repose, I would say. Like you don't see like flies or anything like that or maggots, but just kind of like a peaceful looking deceased woman on a bed. Beside the bed is a copper bathtub, and you can see the skeleton is standing over this tub. There's the burlap sack is at its feet, and it's got sort of like these big green, kind of almost like cactus looking ferns that it's like taking its like pointy little skeletal claw and kind of running it down like the thread of the middle of the leaf, this leafy flesh, and it seems to be kind of like oozing out almost like this aloe kind of gel into the tub. With maybe I'll say you can't really see into the tub at this point, but it just seems to be that's what it's doing. It's almost very, very mechanical in reaching into the bag, grabbing another kind of one of these leafy flesh, and kind of oozing whatever this residue from the plant into the tub. It like turns and looks at you as you open the door, but then kind of ignores you and like goes back to the task. And you can hear the sound or the voice that's moaning is coming from the tub, and now unobstructed by the door. It's like, Cluid, is that you?
It's not Cluid, and I'll step in to get a better look.
And as you step in, you just look in and you can just see it looks like hamburger meat.
Ugh.
Just fills the tub, and it's just like, well, like kind of like all of the flesh off a creature has just like been like a flayed creature, and all of its organs, you can see a brain kind of sitting somewhere in the tub, and like it's like this mass is like somehow talking. Like you can kind of see sort of a face in this mass of flesh, and it's
I'm gonna roll a dice to see when I vomit if it goes in the tub or not. 1 to 3, it does not go in the tub. It goes in the tub.
and the skeleton's like trying to push you away very politely.
So my God. So this is gonna be like Brundle Fly situation if this creature gets transformed. It's gonna have a little bit of Geoffrey in it.
Oh yeah, I'm totally grossed out trying to compose myself. Who or what? What are you? And who and what is this? What?
It's hard to explain. Experiment gone wrong.
Well, is there anything we can do to help?
End it, please.
Oh, Lordy. Okay. Well, are you sure that's the only solution?
Are you a wizard?
Hey guys!
Super, what is he doing in there? So
I can use some brains in here.
It's already.
Come on.
Oh man. At this point, I actually am going to pick up the pouches because I'm picking up the pouches. I don't want to leave them on the ground.
Sounds good. Second here.
So-
I'll head in. I'll go around and go in through the door.
Yeah, and I think Geoffrey's like, we're here for a reason because we need some help from these wizards, right? And we can't get the help from the wizards if they're
Dead.
hamburgers. So, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I missed the last session. I still haven't caught up totally, so I need somebody who's fully up to date on the story in here.
I think the friar would kind of just maybe once he moves in and he's looking, brother, what is going on?
Don't just look that way. And when you hear him talk, just yeah.
What's happening?
They said it
can't
was
bring-
an experiment gone wrong.
Oh,
Oh, Paula
Is
can't go in there.
Yeah.
That just makes me want to go in there even more.
I know, but okay, I'm going to wait out here with you and we'll come in when they say it's safe, but it may not be safe. Please.
Oh, fine.
So yeah,
And then maybe you can help another way.
I think I'm gonna explain to my brother that this guy's basically begging me to kill him, and I'm going over the moral implications of that, because looking at this guy, I sort of want to put him out of his misery.
So I'm going over the mechanical considerations of him. He's already chopped into pieces.
How would
Much
we?
easier. Much easier to transport out, huh? To help us out.
Could that skeleton be his own, or do you see bones in the tub as well?
We could just ask him. Is that your skeleton?
Yes, but
Wow.
and it seems
Good
like the
deduction,
right
Thomas.
moment.
It just seems like
So let's see. What is Silver's listen check?
Oh,
Oh
lordy.
no.
I believe it's 2 and 6. But gosh, it's on the sheet here, but I
So-
don't remember where I put it.
So I just need to take stock of where everyone is. Thomas is outside looking into the western woods, basically. Friar is still outside.
He is in I'm gonna say in that cozy living room,
Okay.
kind of peering behind his brother.
Yep. You can tell that something very horrendous is happening in there. Silver and Geoffrey, are you both in the bedroom?
I'm in like the
You're in the living room?
doorway.
Okay, you're like in the doorway between the two.
Yeah.
And Lillibeth, you're outside with Paulith. Okay. So they're talking to presumably the wizard in the tub, asking him about if it's his skeleton, is that his skeleton? And Friar, your eyes get wide. The door is already open, but you see something crawling into the house from outside. And it's just flesh, this tangled, almost maybe serpent-like, as it's like crawling in. You just see like a hand kind of pulling it forward, and there's just this like mass of flesh, and it's like the outside skin of a human, but it's flayed, and so there's that kind of like rough raw skin on the backside, and you can see kind of sort of where a mouth had been and eyes, but this mass of flesh is moving in to the room and kind of has you caught off guard. It's going to get a surprise round on you as it claws and crawls in. It's going to try to wrap itself around you. As it it moves pretty rapidly as it crawls up.
I was thinking that the special effects would be like Hellraiser 1. Very wet session.
So that would be a 13 to hit.
Who are you going for?
Friar Fitzpatrick.
Oh yeah, that I believe that hits. Yep.
All right. So you will take a bit of damage from this. 4 points of damage, and it moves up very rapidly onto your head. And this whole thing is wrapping itself around your face, and you can feel the pressure on your skull. The same feeling that all those little creatures out in the front yard felt.
Oh no.
Fortunately, you're a little bit bigger, and so you might be able to survive this, but
Might.
not for long. So this is going to immediately put us into initiative. Let's have Friar Fitzpatrick be the caller
Okay, that's fair.
as the spellcaster, you know.
It's you're the muffled caller though.
Do you want to do any spells? Can you do any spells?
Yeah.
Spellcasting going to be difficult for you right now because you can't speak
Move.
currently.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask, could I still try to turn undead? Praying to the Almighty God without words, but in my mind.
Sure.
Okay, I know I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm still gonna try to turn undead at this point because that's what I could do.
Okay, sounds good. I rolled a
All right.
5.
We have reroll. Okay, a 5. I don't know. Who do we just
Yeah, I just do a roll off.
All right, here we go. I got a 4. All right, go ahead.
All right. So while you have this thing wrapped around you, it causes you to have a -4 penalty to both armor class and attack rolls.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna be doing much anyway. Sounds good.
2 points of damage.
Okie dokie.
And the
What's
mass,
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
the mass in the tub is just like, it's here. And you can see the skeleton kind of like cowers and like goes behind the bed.
Oh no.
It's like kind of freaking out. But now it is the party's turn. So be aware of where you're standing, any movement that anybody wishes to make.
So, but what I was going to ask Alex, is he enveloped in this? Is it like if we attack it, we would be hurting him kind of thing? Or is it like hanging off of him? Is there like a part we could slash at?
It's pretty much wrapped up, almost like turban style around like his head and torso.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna do a different action, but I think I'm still gonna move up. So I'm in the doorway. He was at the window. Is that roughly 25 feet?
I'm pretty much
He's like in the
staggering
living
around in
room,
the middle, in the living room.
Okay. So I'm gonna move 25 feet that direction.
trying to get in melee with him. Is that it?
Yeah, I'm trying
Got it.
to. I don't know.
Yep,
I
you can
can't.
get
I'm
there.
not sure if that's okay.
Other movement.
I'm going to move up to the window and look in and see what I can see. And so I haven't seen any of this until just this moment because I wasn't looking.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I mean, can we we hear shouts or whatever that's currently happening, right, from inside the house?
Yeah, yeah. In this round, you are aware of what's happening.
Okay. I will move from my position to go around through the front door.
Okay. So with your movement, we'll say you get like you're not in melee with it, but you're at the front door looking in. It's wide open.
Okay.
And any movement from Geoffrey.
Yeah, I'm gonna move as quickly as I can towards my brother.
Sounds good. So we've got Silver and Geoffrey in melee. Friar Fitzpatrick is basically as in melee as you could be. And Lillibeth and Thomas are basically looking into the house from opposite portals leading in. One Lillibeth at the window and Thomas at the doorway. So kind of have all means of egress are basically like kind of blocked at this point. Although it doesn't look like the skin is looking to go anywhere anytime soon. Any ranged attacks? And while we were thinking about that, thank you for the follow, Zahab. Appreciate you watching us this morning and hanging out for Dolmenwood. Any ranged attacks?
It's too dangerous. I'm not going to do a ranged attack on that. And I don't have anything else that I can really do. Nothing else I can do. So I'm going to go ahead and stay there and guard Paula and say, stay back.
Sounds good. She will obey that. Like, she won't get into this fray unless you get the sense that she'd be willing, but she is gonna obey. So, okay. No other ranged. How about melee?
So I'm gonna try to take Alfheim and kind of like half sword it, like grab the blade and like gently sort of dig underneath and try to like pry it off, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm trying to hurt it. I'm trying to scrape it. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, make an attack roll.
All right. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. It looks a little weird. Let's see if that works.
Okay. It
14
will hit.
It's not undead.
And so roll your damage, and I'll make a roll of
3.
my own.
Oh God. Oh
yeah,
no.
this is ugly.
Gonna
It's 3
transfer.
damage.
How much?
3.
Friar Fitzpatrick, you feel the pointy end of Silver's sword miscalculates just a bit, but digs into your flesh, burned like a piercing pain in your back.
Yeah, Friar goes down.
Damn it. Did I just kill you? Fuck.
I guess make a death saving throw.
And that's against death. Is that what I'm rolling
Yeah,
at?
you
Or is
want
it
to roll above.
okay?
Come on, dice.
Do it.
A 15. We're good.
We're good. Okay. And then roll a d20 for the... I got to pull this up here, but I'm trying to find what our complications are here for this death save. So what did you end up
12.
rolling? A 12? Okay. Oh, this is the disfigured one. So...
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess it works with the whole like sword thing. You could give him a good scar or something.
You're going to lose 2
Hopefully.
points of charisma.
Oh no.
Is that your spell casting?
No,
trait?
I'm at a 10 now. It's not. I
Yeah,
just don't have that
No big.
swagger that I once had. But I'm average now.
You've lost your hair whip. Now, when you get out of the water, you can't do one of these.
Ouchie.
Yeah.
Have a little
Once
bit
again,
of that
I just
hunchback hobble.
I just keep becoming more and more good looking around.
One of us has a kick-ass guard, though. That is not me.
So Friar Fitzpatrick, you can see like the pain, like he kind of arches his back as he falls, and just expires from the pain, is laying on the floor at your feet. Any other melee?
Yeah, I'm going to reach my hands into the flesh around my brother, and I'm going to try to pull it off of him.
Okay. Roll me a D6.
A D6. A 5.
A 5. And you have a +1 to strength, right? You need a 6, but if you have a +1 on strength, I would say you make it.
I believe, yes, I do.
Okay.
+1.
So you managed to reach in and pull it off your brother. Now, just a couple of points of clarification, because this might matter in a second.
Mm-hmm.
You currently don't have a shield equipped if you're doing that, and you're pulling it,
Correct.
ripping it off. You don't have a weapon in hand currently.
Right.
So, all right.
Yep.
I think
And that would be the full action, right? Just get it off of him. And so it's basically like in my hands, right?
It's you don't have it exactly grappled or anything like that. You've just managed to pull it off.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it's currently like you might have like some arms or hands on it, but it can still attack you in these types of things. It's just no longer like crushing the skull of your brother.
Yeah. Who's dead anyway, apparently.
You probably get some relief as you pull off the fleshy bits. You can see that he's still breathing, but it's a little bit strained and kind of gasping and wheezing.
Something.
I did not catch that. I think you gated yourself.
I felt it.
Somebody,
I heard it from here.
Somebody get him out of here. Somebody, I've got this thing. Get my brother away from him.
All right, so I think we're all settled up. We need to make another initiative roll. So we'll keep that Friar just to.
I'm gonna cast a spell.
Cast a spell. All right.
Okay.
I also rolled a 4.
Okay.
3.
Should we do a reroll?
Definitely.
Okay, a 4. We go
All right.
first.
So you go first. Any movement?
My action at hearing Sir Geoffrey say get his brother out of here, I'm standing by the door. I'll come in and grab him and drag him into the onto the porch or whatever's on the front side.
Okay. You manage to you kind of step a few feet in, hook the arms, and pull him out into the front yard. Any other movement?
I'm at the window. I still have my bow drawn, and I'm going to be training the bow on the biggest, widest part of the skin furthest away from Sir Geoffrey that I can hit.
I do also want to ask the Friar as I'm dragging him out, assuming that he can talk, I ask him, does he have any holy water on him?
And unfortunately, he can't respond to you. He's cold.
I'm done.
Any other movement? We'll go to ranged attacks.
Yep. So let me do that quick.
And what was the attack roll?
It was an 8.
No, it's an 8.
An 8 to hit. And that will not hit.
Okay.
Melee attacks.
I'll let you go first, Silver.
So I'm casting a spell, and you
you're
can see me like I'm like summoning some wind into my hand. So I'm gonna be casting the only spell that I know, which is basically like gust of wind. And you've seen me do this before. The creature can't move into the wind. So if you might want to like position yourself so where you're like, I mean, it's too late, you've already moved, but that's
Yeah. I was trying to decide whether I was going to try to grapple this thing or not. I don't have a weapon in hand.
Now you can draw one thing. So you could draw a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to draw the sword of Sir Chide and try to strike it.
All right.
A 12 plus 1 plus 2, 15.
That will hit.
All right. Sir Chide's sword. What is the damage on that guy? I don't remember now. I didn't write it down.
Our swords D8s,
D8.
I think, right? Might be a D6. That's not. That would be a short sword. I think
1d8
it's a
plus
D8.
2 looks like is what you got.
Okay, plus my strength, so it'll be 3. So it's 9 damage.
9 points of damage. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for the follow from Storm Edge and Saturn Dust. Appreciate that. Thanks for sticking it out with us. You said 9 points of damage to the skin?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
All right. You cut a very palpable slice through, like right down it. It doesn't quite like cleave it or anything like that, but you can see it kind of. It's almost been ripped into 2 pieces with that slash. But it is still writhing around, and I don't think we have any other melee that could happen. But we've got Silver casting a spell.
Yes. So I'm casting Gust of Wind, one of my elvish runes. So a burst of wind 10 feet wide, 60 foot long, fires out from my hand against the creature. It cannot move towards this wind, and it needs to make a save versus paralysis.
Ooh, it fails.
It gets pushed back some feet, which might not help much, but I'm still gonna do it. It gets pushed back 30 feet. So I don't think it can actually be pushed back 30 feet, I'm guessing, in the room.
So as you, I guess, on which side of the creature, if it was being blown by the wind, would it be potentially going out the window or out the front door?
I was imagining I don't know. It depends on where I'm facing. I guess it's sort of ambiguous. I would like to push it against the wall.
Push it against the wall. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got it pushed against which wall do you want to have it pushed towards?
The wall opposite Geoffrey.
Let's put it this way. Northern wall, where the door to the bedroom is. The eastern wall, which would put it by the window. Southern wall, closed door. Western wall would be the front door.
Let's do the closed door, the southern wall.
Southern wall. It goes flying, and it's like stuck. It's like just like a tarp, and it's stuck to the wall and kind of flapping a bit. It's very, very disturbing to see this splayed out old wizard man. There's maybe like little tufts of hair too. Like he had like a beard that's like flapping there.
Oh, so the insinuation is that this is part of him?
This is his skin.
Yeah, this is his skin.
And so it just looks like the flayed out, like almost like a bearskin rug, but it is a man that is splayed out on the wall.
I just didn't quite put two and two together on that one, and I just want to say no thank you for explaining it to me.
Yep. I'm
In the
always
back of my
happy to
head-
give you more.
In the back of my head, I feel like if we could have it attack the skeleton, maybe it would like reform into a person. But I feel like I don't think we would try that, and probably shouldn't. We should just kill this fucking thing.
So that lasts for 1 round.
Yeah, it lasts for 1 round, and I can't remember what round means in OSE.
A round is like literally like the 10 seconds or whatever. So
Cool. So it's like, yeah, so it's not a turn, it's a round.
Yep.
I mean, it's the okay, gotcha.
So you guys won initiative. So he's just there. He's just stuck against the wall.
Yay.
Initiative
Yay.
roll. I rolled a 6.
Oh gosh.
I got a 5. Are we using the last reroll?
I think we should save it
Yeah.
for death saves.
Mhm.
I say we just take it. Let's take
Okay.
it.
That sounds good. I figured the same thing, but I just wanted to ask. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't ask if anyone was casting a spell, but I don't think anyone is anymore anyway. So
No, that's all I can do.
if I could, I'd retreat.
Okay. I mean, at this point, no one's in melee with it, so you can
Yeah.
just
You
you can scoot on out of here if you need. Okay, so he would go first, and I'm just gonna say that the gust of wind is still active this round. We'll say it concludes at the end of this round, so we'll just go right to you guys.
I'm gonna move up. So basically, my thoughts are like I agree with that ruling. It's like it lasts from my turn to my turn, right?
Yeah.
So it's down, and so I'm moving up.
Yeah, I'm going to move up to strike it as well.
I
gonna-
move
I'll-
back. Go ahead, Maureen.
I was going to say, I'm just going to stay where I am, but I am going to grab Paulith up and pull her up to the window and say, have you ever seen anything like that?
You sure you want to be a witch?
That's not a witch. He's got a beard. Some beardy wizard. Witch would never let this happen to them. This is just evidence that I'm putting in my file to suggest that I am on the right track.
Yeah.
So, Thomas, did you move into melee?
I will move up into the doorway as you know, and as far as I can into the room.
Okay.
So.
Do you want to be in melee or just at the door, like for range or whatever?
You know what? It's not that big. It's up against a wall. I think if these two are moving up on it, it probably would congest stuff. So I will go ahead as I move up. I'll pull my sling out.
Sounds good. We will move to the ranged attacks.
I'm going to try again to hit it against the wall. Does it have any disadvantage because of paralysis or anything like that because of the spell? Nope.
Spell's over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crit. So
Oh, one whole. Damn.
well, with the crit, you get the.
Full.
It was a natural 20, right? I just
It
wanna
was a
confirm
natural
that.
20.
Okay. So you get the maximum that you could do. So 6 points of damage.
Okay.
So it's now got an arrow kind of thunked, kind of pinning it against the wall.
Yes.
That's perfect. That's what I was planning to do. Pin it down.
Nice.
And let's see, Thomas is slinging a sling.
Yep, I got a 14 plus 1 is AC 15
That will hit.
for a whopping 1 point.
All right.
But it's pretty damaged. Does it take it down?
It's still clinging to the wall. The gust of wind spell is starting to subside, and you can just see like the arrow. It's kind of like tearing, like it's tearing on that arrow and sliding down. It's still moving. It's still active. So we'll go to our melee folks. Let's give it to Sir Geoffrey to start.
All right, I'm gonna
Finish it
snap
off.
at it with Sir Chide's sword. A 13.
That will hit,
All right, damage will be 7.
and you just kind of wide strikes start to hack it apart, and as it's sliding down, slice it this way, and it just turns to mush and falls and slumps to the ground. And you can just see like a hand just kind of slowly kind of reach out towards you and then curls up on itself and flops down to the ground.
Ugh.
I'm going to remember this forever.
So we are out of the initiative. I'll fast forward 10 minutes for the whole combat situation that just happened.
We did grab the gold, right?
Lillibeth
Yeah.
picked up the
Mhm.
gold bags.
I'm gonna go check on the friar because I killed
Yeah.
him.
All right. I'm going to try to get you guys a little bit tighter here. He's fine. He's unconscious. He's alive.
Someone should probably talk to the wizard. Joffrey
Yeah.
had a good thing going. You want to see if the
Yeah.
wizard is like alive still, or
I think I'm gonna bring him his skin. I'll bring what's left
Oh,
of the skin to him and just be like, "Can this help?"
throw it in the tub.
it all went wrong. I don't.
How can we make it right? We need your help. Let me just lay it all out on the table since this is how it is. We need your
if you
help.
have to.
We need to put you back together.
No.
I don't want to end it. I'm a knight. I'm not supposed. I can't do that. There's no honor in that.
Is there anyone else I can talk to?
Thomas would do it.
Perhaps somebody morally that would be me.
Well,
What?
but we need this guy's help for something, don't we? That's why we're here, right?
I cannot
Yes.
help. I failed. It was a failure. Tell Cluid. I cannot help the boy.
Help the.
Oh boy. I think we're starting to figure out what's locked upstairs. So wait, so this experiment went wrong because you were trying to help Cluid
Yes.
with something.
The boy is his grandchild. They've confirmed it.
And what is wrong with the boy?
I don't know exactly. It could be his heritage.
Some sort of
Half-braggled children sometimes come with maladies, but he also appears he was tortured. I think the
Tortured?
answer is obvious. Lord Malbleet did this to him, his own
Why?
son.
Did what to him exactly?
It's all in my journals. My journals. You can take them. You can take them to Cluid. It'll explain.
Of course.
Please. You can see my wife is dead. I have no life like this. I don't have any answer to put reverse the ritual.
Well, for lack of being too uncouth, how even would we put you out of your misery? Pierce your brain?
I would say fire solves most problems.
I thought that
Over.
too, but that seems like a
painful.
sort of a sad way. I do have a lantern. How would you choose to be perish?
Joffrey's just gonna kind of say like, I can't
Yeah.
I can't be a part of this, and he's just gonna, ask his brother to say some words, and he's gonna step outside.
I'm gonna say, don't worry, bro. He's going to the farm. He's gonna be okay. Just we're gonna relocate him. He's gonna have a happy
I think
life.
we're past euphemisms. Whatever you do to me can't be worse than now.
Gonna put him in a jug on the farm. Yeah, so I'm just gonna. I mean, I'll look at Thomas and say, look, these mortal ways are unusual to me. The thought even of wanting to perish. I mean, it's a strange thing, but I can understand him. If you would like, I could try to deliver a killing blow, and if it doesn't work, you could burn him, Thomas.
I think. I mean, I'd leave that to you. I mean, I don't know if he feels pain. I mean, attempting to do killing blows on him and such might just torture him as opposed to just lighting him on fire.
Okay. Well, I think I'll follow your lead, Thomas. I'll handle
Right.
it.
No, I don't know
Can't
how.
assume that this would burn down the house too, right? Probably.
Yeah,
Might not be a bad idea. Just like, I mean, I guess we should get all the stuff out, like get all the journals and
Maybe
everything.
we should get the journals. We should go and see if there's any supplies or anything in the rest of the house that they won't need anymore. And that's probably maybe Geoffrey's ransacking the house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I?
Because that's
know
because
this?
that's more morally less ambiguous, I guess.
Okay, so at the current state of things, I'll fast forward 10 minutes of deliberating on do we not. So you're going to hold off on killing him until you've searched the house. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe like it could be somewhat simultaneous, but I think the idea is that I think we're gonna burn everything down is what I think we're leaning towards.
Okay. So you're currently in the bedroom. Is there anything specifically that you were doing in here?
Looking for his journals, so if he's got any desks or any drawers, I'm gonna look under his bed.
Okay.
Holding my
You
nose.
said the thing that you needed to say. Underneath
Yeah.
the bed, you will find that he does have a pretty ornate jewelry box. You search around in there. It's not readily apparent, but you'll see that there is a floorboard that's loose that you will move aside and pick up this jewelry box, and inside is a pearl necklace that is easily worth 1,000 gold pieces. Also within the little crevice there is a potion of healing.
Bring it to the Friar immediately.
Give it to the Friar. Okay. Friar, you gain 6 hit points.
Oh no, his skin is rotting off.
I'm okay. What happened? All I felt was this searing pain go up my chest and darkness. Silver, it's you. Thank you
Yes,
so much for helping me. What happened?
You're welcome. We
You came to help me. Thank you.
I think at this point Joffrey's gonna kind of go to his brother and like feed him some water. He's just gonna be glaring at Silver.
All right. Other things that you were doing with the house.
So were there any desks or any drawers for? I mean, we're looking for his journals. That's like the most important thing. for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, I think
So
journals and also just like if we're burning the place down, if there's any other stuff, rations, just supplies.
So you're going to open up the other door.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So you open up the other door, and inside you will see what very much looks like a wizard's laboratory. There are shelves. They're all toppled over, and specimen jars smashed on the tiled floor. There is like a workbench / desk where there are some books that are laid out. Some of them are journals. Some of them are actual textbooks. And many of them seem to be histories of the Bregel, and more specifically kind of like books tracing the lineage of the noble lines all the way back to Hragel. And then of course there is a more recent looking journal that's laid out on the desk that has his Scymes' notes. I guess just a summary of what you will find in there is that yes, he has indeed. So the story is you now have a pretty good idea of what is in the attic. It would appear that Burkmaster Baldric is hiding a half Bregel, half human boy in the attic. And it would seem that Baldric, it may be unclear how he came to find this child or how it came to be in his custody, but he very clearly doesn't want anyone to know about the boy, and had some kind of suspicion that the boy might be his grandchild. That probably seems odd to you, why he would think that, but he also thought that this child, the Bregel part of this child, was Lord Malbleet's offspring. So if you think about how fucked up that is, you would be right. So anyway, there was something wrong with this child, both maybe some mental deficiencies or something not right about, also a lot of scarring on their body. And it would seem that Baldric commissioned this wizard to try to figure out what was going on and see if he could help the kid. Whatever happened here, there is a book on the desk that seems to be some kind of a ritual book that says it's all spells related to ancestry, detect ancestry, like spells you've never heard of. And you're only kind of probably guessing through Thomas's being able to pick out bits and pieces of what it means. You would not be able to replicate any magic in here. But there is a spell that seems to be detailing a way to split ancestry somehow from a person. And it seems Like, that is a spell that this wizard tried to cast, and it bounced off whatever he was casting it on, and that is what happened to his body. He split. It maybe is a spell that it has never worked and will never work, and he learned the hard way about that. So
We should still take the spell book, I think, though.
Oh yeah.
there is a separate spell book that seems more. There's a separate spell book that has within it the stamp of approval, basically, of the church, and so that
Gotcha.
seems like a more on the level spell book. You know, there's nothing about the one with the whole ancestry spells. Like, none of that would ever be sanctioned by the
Experimental.
church. But there's a normal spell book among the stuff. You will also
And
find
I know
a.
you're going to be adding all this stuff to our character sheets, right? You
Yep.
said.
Yep, I'm going to be adding this stuff to your character sheets once you tell me like where it's going and everything like that. But just to kind of wrap up the session, I want to make sure we get all this out. So there is a spell scroll that you will find, 2 spell scrolls, in fact, and another potion. So in summary, from the house, 5 bags with 100 gold pieces each, that jewelry box with the very expensive looking necklace, 2 spell scrolls, a potion, and a spell book.
Moreen was finally here for a good treasure session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing, Alex, well,
Sad.
these people are doing most of the ransacking. I will be having a conversation with the wizard and more or less taking some song requests, maybe what he would request for exit music, so to speak, that I'll be attempting to comfort him with some music here at the end of his time. So
I'm sort of picturing like the Titanic going down, but instead it's like the house burning with you serenading it. Is very poetic in my brain here.
I think as you're doing that, the skeleton will come out from behind the bed and go and kind of do its best to kind of scoop up what is left of Merridwyn Scymes and kind of lay it down on the bed next to his wife. At this point, I think you get, she was strangled by the skin after the experiment went bad. And basically the skeleton will go and like lay next to her.
I know that's supposed to be a touching scene, but I'm just imagining this skeleton laying in a pile of meat and goo.
I mean, that's what it is. There is nothing, aesthetically pleasing about this scene, but you can get the sentiment of poor Merridwyn.
It's touching
I
in an
would add
H.P.
the-
Lovecraft sense.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, I would add the remnants of the skin at this point if I were assisting in any way. Might as well have it all together.
Yeah.
And we
God,
can.
this is such a gross session. Ugh.
It's great though. I love it. Best session we've had.
So after putting him out of his misery, the idea is to burn the house down.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that will happen. You will be sleeping then out in the woods.
Yeah. We
Ooh.
burnt our shelter down.
Do a quick roll to see if I have to do anything there. Okay, no, it'll be fine.
I would make sure that at least the father, I don't think he would participate in the whole burning, but after he would pray, he would do it like a quick service, kind of praying for the souls of the departed and whatnot. Please guide them to above and whatnot.
Sounds good. So a blessing to the one true God, and a evening that maybe there's a lot of conversation amongst you all having dealt with this situation, and that'll take us to the 2nd of Lillipith. In the morning, I imagine your plan is to head back to Lankshorn and report this in some ways as this is not a successful trip out here. There is not a wizard that will be helping you with facing off against the unicorn.
And I think, are we going to keep the information about knowing all the info about the grandson to our chest for now?
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
probably yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's helpful to us, and we have it. We could probably already flip it over to Madam Shantywood, but I think there's more to the story still. So I
Yep.
Right.
think we hold it.
Cool. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
The Burkmaster will be able to hire people to help you go and deal with the unicorn. Now, just a reminder, so everything should be fairly clear now, right? Like, there is a reason why he can't go to Lord Malblate. Basically, put this in your heads. The presumption is that Baldric must have a daughter that is in custody with Lord Malbly. And so
Right.
there's a very real personal reason why he cannot step out of line or show any kind of, ineptitude. And so he's got the 300 gold pieces is basically what he has raised. That's the budget for dealing with the unicorn. From that, he can hire individuals at a rate of 30 gold, and those individuals will expect 3 gold pieces per day that they are on retainer. So you can get, you could get 10 and they will hang out for the day basically, but then they have to be paid additional funds to stick around. Or you could hire less than that and then use that leftover funds, It basically depends on how greedy your group is and like, are you relying on his budget to deal with these guys, or are you going to be pitching in anything to like keep them around or whatever? So don't have to decide that today. I just want to spell out this is the process and like this is how that part of it is going to go. So we'll pick up with all that in the next session. It's probably going to be a bit of planning. I assume you're going to try to jump into trying to deal with the Unicorn Plus. You've got this like kind of wild card factor with the Droon's daughter is now with you, and it seems like she actually knows something about maybe where this thing comes and goes from. And so that might change or alter plans that you might come up with. And thanks everybody for watching here today. I think we've got one game happening tomorrow morning, one of our community campaign games. Those are 5e games that we invite our audience or anybody that is a part of our community to come in and jump in and play. So if you want to get in on that, I don't know if there's spots open or not. I think there might be. You just jump into our Discord server. So you can find that in the description of the video you're watching or the podcast you are listening to come and join us for that. If you really like what you are hearing from us, there's a couple of ways that you can support the podcast / playthroughs that we do. You can do that either via Patreon, which is a link to that in the video description or podcast, or you can support the Buzzsprout link that you can access by clicking the support the show link in the podcast. Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
A great weekend.